All right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with Morning Live. Now, today it is day 4 of the 5th ANC Policy Conference that's taking place in Nasrec here in Johannesburg. So we've seen a whole lot of discussions coming out of that conference during the weekend. But our reporter, Griselda Lewis, is there for us to keep us abreast with the latest happening. Griselda, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Palisa, from a very chilly Monday morning here at Nasrec on indeed the 4th day of the ANC's National Policy Conference. Well, over the past couple of days, the ANC has been doing some introspection about what are some of the grave challenges that it is facing. There was the diagnostics report by the Secretary General of the African National Congress, which many say was really a frank discussion about some of the major issues that the governing party is facing. If you look at, for example, the support of the African National Congress that has slid over the past couple of years, the ANC says it's now having a serious discussion with itself to try and remedy some of the challenges that it is facing. Without wasting time, let's talk about what has happened over the past couple of days. Dumisani Hlophe joins me this morning. He is a political analyst and also with the UNISA School of Governance. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the past few days. The ANC says it's been looking at self. It's trying to rectify some of the challenges that it is facing. Has that discussion been frank, do you think, over the past few days?
Well, I think the diagnostic report, it presented the ANC delegates with an opportunity to really reflect on what is eating the ANC away, from internally. But the reaction to it, it was kind of unfortunate because as sincere as the report was, I think it was met on factional lines. Those that aligned to the current ruling faction of the ANC, they felt like it was an attack on them. Hence the knee-jerk reaction, to resist that it be submitted, to the plenary. But at the end of the day, I think it was good that it was tabled. And yet, I don't think they exploited it enough to elevate, discussions in terms of what is really eating the ANC and what needs to be done to reposition the movement.
Is that what we expect to see with the other reports that are made public along factional lines? You had some who did not want the diagnostics report, which seemed to be the most frank and clear about the challenges that the ANC is facing. So that might give an indication that you would have a particular faction wanting to ensure that particular matters are not discussed.
Yes, because it's treated as an attack, on that particular faction, rather than being a review of the status of the organization and its challenges. Now, unfortunately for me, there are just too many, reports in this conference. I think the contents of the reports are fairly good. I mean, if you look at the organizational report and how the ANC articulates itself in terms of its challenges, those contents, are quite frank and fit and proper. Unfortunately, it is the reaction to those reports, which is not only limited to conceptual, analysis by the delegates, but the question that says, what's in it for us as a particular group?
Let's look at the report that was given by Fikile Mbalula on the organization renewal. One of the things that seemed to lack there was to speak to leadership within the African National Congress. We heard everything else, but leadership is one of the issues that many say is what is the problem with the governing party.
In fact, if they were to discuss one thing in this conference, it's leadership, nothing else. Because, the problems of the ANC, they stem from a very divisive, inward-looking leadership that the movement is enjoying at this point in time. So on was it Friday when you and I spoke about this issue?
Yes.
We made a suggestion that, if there were a few issues that had to be priorities of priorities in this conference. Leadership is the main one, and organizational performance and issues of governance around how the ANC manages state affairs.
Thank you very much for your time. Unfortunately, that's all we can sneak in at this point. Dumisani Hlophe, who is a political analyst who's been dissecting for us over the past couple of days how the ANC has been looking at itself. He is also with the School of Governance at UNISA. But a little bit later on this morning, we'll be chatting to quite a number of other guests when we look at economic development, and a bit later on this morning as well, we're expecting Nathi Mthethwa to look at strategy and tactics. That's a media briefing that will be taking place at about 11 o'clock this morning, which will speak to the core of the country's economy and how the ANC plans to take the economy and the country forward.